We're continuing our coverage on immigration, specifically talking about Title 42 and other issues affecting our southern border. Joining us now to help break things down is Congressman Tony Cárdenas from the 29th District, representing the North Central San Fernando Valley. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us on this Saturday.
Thank you for having me, Catalina, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Now, Congressman, we know that you and the rest of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus met with President Biden earlier this week to speak about immigration as well as other topics. What did you hear from the president that you liked, and where did he fall short?
Well, what I liked about the president, he was very positive and he was engaging with us, and we had dialogue going back and forth, giving each other opinions about what we need to see going forward when it comes to Title 42, when it comes to student loans, things of that nature. And we walked out of there very, very pleased. President Biden is a president we can trust. When he gives his word, he's going to do everything that he can to complete it.
Now, as you know, Title 42 was put in place as a public health measure meant to cut down the number of COVID infections. It's worth noting that there is not the same concern when it comes to tourists. Tourists can come and go freely, or migrants can fly into the country and they don't face the same restrictions as they do with Title 42. But now some proponents of Title 42 argue that we need to keep it in place as a tool to prevent excess immigration. Does it make sense to keep Title 42 in place for either health or immigration reasons?
Title 42 needs to end right away. And President Biden has already promised, he confirmed with the Hispanic Caucus members who met with him just last week, myself and others, is that he promised to do it by May 23rd. They're doing everything that they can to rebuild the system that former President Donald Trump dismantled. And so they're trying to rebuild the system so that when they get rid of Title 42, we're going to be treating human beings like they should be treated like human beings and giving them a dignified due process for them to follow.
Now, obviously, none of this is happening in a vacuum. We have midterm elections coming up in less than 5 months. Are Democrats willing to lose seats to get rid of Title 42? And if so, what kind of long-term impact will that have on immigration?
I think when you do the right thing, it's not about losing seats. When you do the right thing, it's about keeping true to yourself and keeping true to the voters. And I think when we do the right thing, people do see what we're doing, especially when it comes to compassion, especially when it comes to focusing on the economy, focusing on people who are seeking asylum, people who are fearing for their lives, fleeing for their lives. It's not just people in Ukraine who are fleeing for their lives. There's people from Africa. There's people from South America. And trust me when I say this, the United States of America is still the #1 economy in the world. But right now we're slipping a little bit because we don't have the right size of folks ready and willing to work and fill those jobs that are empty right now. And when I say that immigrants are some of the hardest working people in the world, when they come to the United States of America, they give to our economy. They make our industries work well. For example, when it comes to agriculture, when it comes to technology, when it comes to transportation, transporting things, everything you could think of, the hotel industry. If you look over your left shoulder, your right shoulder, you look in front of you, you're probably going to find people who were born in this country, but also people who came to this country and are so grateful and are working really hard to keep us the #1 economy in the world.
Congressman Tony Cárdenas from the 29th District. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Catalina. I look forward to talking to you soon.